My mother-in-law tried to sabotage my pregnancy, but I turned the tables in a way she'll never forget. The hotel room door clicked shut behind me at 11:47 p.m. in Denver, and I knew I'd just destroyed my marriage. Not when Tyler kissed me by the conference bar. Not when I followed him to the elevator. But right then, tasting someone else's whiskey on my breath, my wedding ring still on while my dress lay crumpled on his floor. The worst part? I wasn't even drunk. I'd had 2 glasses of wine, perfectly coherent when I texted my husband, conference running late, love you, while Tyler's hands were already on my waist. The message showed read at 11:23. Mason had hearted it. He was probably in bed now, setting his alarm early to get our daughters ready for school alone, thinking his wife was networking, building her career, making their sacrifices worth it. 6 years married, 2 kids at home with him right now. Ella, 7, and Sophie, 4. Mason trusted me completely. Have fun at your boring work thing, he'd laughed, kissing me goodbye at the airport. We'd been good, stable, maybe a little predictable. Saturday soccer games, Sunday meal prep, sex twice a week if we weren't too tired. My friend Jessica kept saying I settled too young at 24, that Mason was sweet but boring, that I missed out on my wild years. She showed me her Hinge matches, guys with boats and abs, adventures in Cabo. You could have had that life, she'd say. Social media didn't help. Every scroll showed couples traveling to Santorini while Mason and I did daycare drop-off and mortgage payments. Women my age posting from Miami in designer bikinis while I wore the same Target leggings 3 days straight. Tyler was everything Mason wasn't. Senior VP at 32, talked about his Manhattan apartment, his weekend place in the Hamptons. Italian suits that probably cost more than our monthly mortgage. He'd been flirting since the opening keynote, found me at every networking break. Your husband's lucky, he'd said at lunch. By dinner, it was your husband doesn't know what he has. Other women at the conference noticed him noticing me. For the first time in years, I felt seen, wanted, like I was more than someone's mom and wife. I told myself it was harmless, just attention, just validation that I still had it. The lies came so easily. When he suggested drinks, I thought I could handle it. When he said his room had a better view of the city, I pretended I didn't know what that meant. My phone lit up while Tyler was in the bathroom, Mason, sending a photo of our daughters asleep in our bed. They wanted to wait up for mommy's call. Ella made you a picture. I could see it on the nightstand, probably another crayon drawing of our family, 4 stick figures holding hands. I threw up in Tyler's bathroom. When I came out, Tyler was scrolling his phone, already bored. You good? He asked without looking up. The conference had 2 more days. I flew home that night, paid $900 to change my flight, told Mason I got food poisoning. He picked me up at 2 a.m., helped me to bed, held my hair when I dry heaved from guilt. Must have been the convention center food, he said, rubbing my back. I'm just glad you're home. 3 days later, my coworker Sarah called. Just thought you should know, Tyler's been showing people screenshots of your texts. And there's a photo. The bathroom mirror selfie I'd sent him from the hotel, in my underwear, thinking I was sexy, thinking I was desired. It was already in a group chat with half the industry. Mason was at work. The kids were at school. I sat in our kitchen, staring at the family calendar on the fridge, knowing it was over. Ella's dance recital was Friday. Sophie's parent-teacher conference next week. All these careful plans, this life we'd built appointment by appointment, was about to shatter. I thought about deleting everything, denying it, gaslighting Mason if needed. But Sarah forwarded me the screenshot. Tyler had included my full name. My wedding ring was visible in the photo. When Mason came home, I was still at the kitchen table. He took one look at my face and said, "Who?" Not what happened, not what's wrong. Who? Like he'd been waiting for this. A guy from the conference, I said. Tyler Morrison. It happened once, Mason laughed, actually laughed. The photo going around LinkedIn says otherwise. He'd already seen it. His coworkers had seen it. His brother had forwarded it to him at lunch, asking if he was okay. He picked up his keys, wallet, didn't pack anything. Mason, please, the girls. He stopped at the door. The girls deserve better than a mother who throws away their family for conference dick. First time I'd ever heard him curse about me. The door closed so quietly. Ella's drawing was still on the nightstand upstairs. 4 stick figures, but I'd already erased myself from the picture. Mason didn't yell. He didn't cry. He served me papers 2 weeks later while I was staying at my sister's apartment. The photo had already circulated through my company's Slack before HR caught it. Tyler kept his job, he was too valuable to lose over a consensual encounter between adults. I was restructured out within a month. They gave me a severance package with an NDA, enough to cover 3 months of rent. The custody mediator was brutal. You abandoned your children for a sexual encounter and compromised your professional judgment, resulting in job loss and inability to provide stable income. Mason got primary custody. I see them every other weekend, supervised for the first 6 months because his lawyer argued I'd shown dangerous impulsivity and poor decision-making around their welfare. My oldest, Ella, won't look at me. She's 7 and knows enough. At pickup, she asked Mason, "Why can't you come to Mommy's apartment too?" When he said he couldn't, she said, "Is it because of what Mommy did to you?" Not what happened. What Mommy did. Sophie, only 4, keeps asking when I'm coming home. Mason had to explain that Mommy has her own home now. She cried so hard she threw up. The therapist says she's showing signs of attachment disruption. $180 a session to hear how I traumatized my baby. The friend group chose sides immediately. Jessica, who pushed me toward something better, posted about the sanctity of marriage and unfollowed me. "I never told you to actually do anything," she said when I confronted her. "I was just talking." The mom friends from school pickup treat me like I'm contagious. I switched Ella's dance studio because the other mothers whispered. Tyler blocked my number the day after I got fired. His LinkedIn still says building exceptional teams through authentic leadership. He got promoted last month. Senior Executive VP. He's engaged to someone from legal, a woman 10 years younger who comments heart emojis on all his posts. I moved back with my parents at 31. My childhood bedroom still has participation trophies from high school. My dad won't discuss it. My mom keeps asking what I was thinking, like there's an answer that makes sense. He was a good man, she says. A good father. Was. Past tense. Like Mason died instead of just cutting me out surgically from his life. I work retail now, afternoon shifts that work around my limited custody schedule. Folding clothes at Ann Taylor, wondering if the customers can smell the failure on me. Last week, I saw Mason at Target with the girls and his new girlfriend. Sophie ran to me, then stopped halfway, looking back at her dad for permission. He nodded, but his eyes were hollow when they met mine. The girlfriend was wearing the kind of sundress I used to mock as basic. She touched my daughter's hair so gently. They looked like a catalog family, the life I torched for a man whose last name I sometimes forget. The girlfriend bent down to Sophie's level, said something that made her laugh. Ella was holding her hand. My daughters, calling another woman's name with the voice they used to use for me. My therapist asks what I learned. I learned that deserving better is the gateway drug to losing everything. That stable love feels boring until it's gone. That your children's trust, once broken, doesn't heal just because you're sorry. That 11 minutes of terrible sex costs more than money can calculate. Mason remarried last month. Ella was the flower girl. Sophie carried the rings. I saw the photos on his sister's Instagram before she blocked me. My daughters in matching dresses I didn't pick, smiling wider than they do during my weekends. The caption said finally, "The family they deserve." I scroll through old photos sometimes, from before. Mason building the girls' swing set. Sunday pancakes. His face when I told him I was pregnant with our second. All deleted from his phone now, like 7 years never happened. The conference was 11 minutes and a lifetime of consequences. Tyler probably doesn't remember my last name. Mason won't forget what I threw away. The girls will grow up knowing Mommy chose a stranger over Daddy. Over them. I thought I was choosing adventure, choosing passion, choosing what I deserved. I chose to become a cautionary tale my daughters will hear when they're old enough to wonder why Mommy only gets every other weekend, and why Daddy sometimes looks so sad when he drops them off at my apartment, even when he's smiling.